Let's go. Welcome, welcome. So, a reinvention I like to talk about is just like something that may happen several times in your life. And it's not burning everything down, it's just making a decision of who you want to be and how you want to create your life and what you want that to look like. So many times it's like Groundhog Day, right? Where we're just reliving and doing the same thing because we've always done it. Sometimes we have a reinvention because we just have this calling. We feel like there's something more for our life. There's something more that we need to be doing, especially at this time in midlife where we've had our whole life to prepare us up to this point. But sometimes a reinvention is not by choice, whether it's divorce or it's retirement. Your kids are moving out of the house. You now need to take care of your parents, or maybe that responsibility is no longer necessary. There is a lot of reasons why we may be called to a situation where it's a reinvention and it's time for a new era. A little bit about me, if you're new here or if you've been here for a little while, just wanted to share a little bit about where I'm coming from and some of my background. So I've always been in the fashion industry. I just ever since I was in high school, just really loved fashion. Back in the day, I'm from Seattle, Washington. We had what was called the Nordstrom Fashion Board, where you applied for, and your senior year, you were trained and taught in the fashion industry, where we learned about how the fashion industry works. Specifically like a brick and mortar, because we didn't have this capability right back then, and also a marketing minor. And I landed my dream job with Calvin Klein when right out of college, where I covered Arizona, New Mexico, and parts of Texas. I've lived in Arizona for over 20 years. Gosh, totally different change, right, than Seattle. So I've had that experience in Seattle, lived in Washington for over 20 years, where I met my husband, and decided not to be traveling. I raised 4 kids. Well, actually, I have 2 at home. I have 2 kids still at home, decided to homeschool my children. So I completely stepped away from working while I decided to homeschool my children until my youngest was about, oh gosh, so like 5 years ago. She's 15 now, where I hit 40, and I just felt like there was something more. And also I had, sorry, I cut my finger. I had a situation where I was kind of put in a point where I needed to make a reinvention. When I'm now 49, so 9 years ago, I was raised in a religion that all of a sudden it just all came crashing down, where I no longer believed that particular religion anymore. And I didn't, which had pretty much molded all of my beliefs and down to what I was allowed to wear. It was very strict in my dress code. And as a fashion woman who really loved clothing, and when it came to a point in my life where I can no longer wear what I loved, I didn't really care what I wore, right? Because if I couldn't wear what I really wanted to wear, it really didn't matter. So I really numbed that whole part of me that was, like a foundation of like really loving style and using that part of me. It was like just in my blood. My grandmother my dad, like we just really love our style. And I could just kind of push that away, numbed that part of me. And, as I was raising my kids, I was, you're just happy to have a clean shirt on a lot of the times at a shower, right? I had 4 kids under the age of 6. And then when that all happened, I realized that I can make decisions. Are these things that I've always lived in and went by, would I remake those decisions again? And one of the first things that I did is I started being very intentional about what I was wearing. Something that I had, you know, put off to the side. I try to tell myself that that was superficial. It didn't matter what I wore, right? I just needed to clothe myself. How many of you have been in that situation where you're just like, it just doesn't matter what I wear. I just need something to wear. Um, when I started like being intentional about what I was wearing, I just felt a part of me that was numb, that had wasn't dead, but just really, I didn't allow myself to express myself that way. I just felt more alive. And what I found was how you viewed yourself. And then you could only perform as well as you believe about yourself, right? And then when you bring your style up, it will match that. So I was able to be excited and live in a way where how I viewed myself and my personal style kind of lined up, and it totally changed how I lived. And as I decided what I believed about myself and then brought my style up to that, I noticed I was becoming a better version of who I already was. It wasn't that I was totally different person. I just was willing to pull out who I was inside and be able to live authentically. I know that's kind of like a cheesy word, but like I was able to find myself again and be able to start stepping in her power. And that is what we're going to do today. We're going to jumpstart. What do we want out of life? Because so many times we just let other people decide that. We're just trying to help raise our kids. We're trying to help keep our spouses happy. And then when we get into a situation where we're like, what do I want? Oftentimes we don't even know. And so I want you just to take a moment for yourself for this next few minutes. This will be less than an hour, where you really take the time to think about what decisions would I make again, and what am I happy to keep doing? Because of course, I'm still like married to my spouse. I'm still homeschooling 2 more kids. We still have 2 more kids at home. But I'm living life at a whole new level. I want to live an extraordinary life. And it has nothing to do with money, right? It has to do, how do I want to view myself and how do I want to live? So much of what's happening around us has to do with our perception. How do we view what's going on around, and how do I want to experience that? For example, if you have to believe that you're going to be able to, if you want to apply for a job, right? You have to believe that you could actually get it before you'll actually apply for it. If you want to be friends with somebody, you have to believe that they're going to want to be friends with you before you're going to want to encourage to reach out and to be friends with them. So what we're thinking about ourselves. Now, this is not woo-woo. Okay, I'm not about woo-woo at all. But what do we believe about ourselves that we're able to accomplish. What are we able to do? And whatever you believe about yourself is what you'll be able to, is what you'll take action towards. Oftentimes, the reason why you haven't been able to reach your goals or reach your dreams, it's not because you don't know how to do it. It's there's something that you don't believe about yourself. And so we have these thoughts about ourselves, and then we also have our like our style. So those are the two different things I wanted to talk about today. I want to start with a visualization. Because in order to reinvent yourself, you need to know what you are going towards. You need to know, was it Stephen Covey? Begin with the end in mind. We need to know where we're going in order to visualize where you want to go, and then match who you are on the inside with who you are on the outside. Okay, so let me just make sure I didn't miss anything there where I wanted to talk about. Okay, so just wanted to just really quickly, what is self-image? I know I mentioned it earlier and I talked about it a little bit, but self-image isn't how other people think of you. It's what you think of you. So when you go look in the mirror and you look at yourself, what do you believe about yourself? And so many times we might try to do like visual statements. I'm sorry, not visual statements. Like, what do they call that? Like I am statements to try to get you to believe something else about yourself. Gosh, I can't remember the name. But what you say about you that you believe is going to affect how you feel about yourself. And then you take action in that way. So when you got dressed this morning, what did you believe about yourself? So in clothes cognition, I'm going to teach you about something really quick. The clothes that you wear are not superficial. They actually change the way you view yourself. It changes the way your brain works. This is what's so fascinating. The statement of dress for success that you probably heard growing up has been scientifically proven with the word enclosed cognition. There was a study done where a group of people were given a white coat, and one group were given this coat and were told it was a doctor's coat. And they were given a series of cognitive tests. The group that was told it was a white doctor's coat scored higher than the group that was given the exact same coat, but they were told it was a painter's coat. Now, the reason why the doctors scored higher was because that we have certain beliefs about doctors. They have a certain IQ, they're highly educated, you have to be really smart to be a doctor. And when you put on that doctor's coat, you become a doctor. And when you put on the painter's coat, now there's nothing, wrong about painters. It's just that we have this overarching belief about doctors. And when they put on that coat, their brain came up to what they believed about themselves, right? So they had to be physically wearing this doctor's coat. It couldn't be on a chair next to them. It couldn't be hanging up in the room. They physically had to be wearing the coat. Now it made so much more sense about why I just felt numb. right? When I was just wearing clothes that I just thought were boring, that I would not be choosing, that I did not love. And had certain feelings about that, right? And I was taking action in accordance to that. I felt, right? Felt nothing special, right? And then I wore clothes that matched to that. And in return, my brain and the way that I responded to my life was just kind of blah. It wasn't exciting. When a child is given like a Halloween costume, we have Halloween coming up, or is giving, a dress up costume, they become that superhero. They become that character. I remember loving Wonder Woman, and I actually still really love Wonder Woman. She's my favorite superhero. But when you put on these costumes, when these kids put on these characters, they become the character. Nobody tells them how Superman or Wonder Woman's going to react in a certain way, right? They just automatically, their brain already knows. They go there. They don't have to study a plot, right? Or a script to learn, okay, what does Superman do? Like we would do if we were in a play. No, they instinctively know, just like you instinctively know when you put on clothes that makes you feel fantastic. And your brain is going to rise to that level. And it's going to rise to the level that you currently have of your self image. It's going to help you operate at your best of yourself in the moment, right? The clothes that you wear matters. It affects not only how you feel about yourself, but more important, the actions that you're taking in your life and what you believe about yourself. That is where this reinvention will come from. And it comes from the inside out, but it's this cycle, right? It's going to perpetuate. It helps you raise. I call this like the style icon. It's your self-image plus style, and where that meets, you are showing up as your style icon. What is a style icon? Style icon is somebody who just shows up their most best version of themselves, powerfully, confidently. They are wearing what they feel best in, right? Even if it's a t-shirt and jeans, Jennifer Aniston, right? Or it's those red lips. What is her name? Help me out. That like whatever it is, like Kathleen Hepburn, we know her style. When you think of Marilyn Monroe, we have certain ideas about what they liked, but it's a reflection of who they are. And what you wear is going to help you show up more confident. It's going to change how you're thinking about yourself. And you don't have to work hard at it, right? Being confident. Once we tap into what that looks like for you, it will come more and more effortless to you. Those people who were tested with the doctor's coat, they didn't study. Their brains were activated for them. And that's what style can do for you in your reinvention. It can help you stand up with more confidence and be willing to take the next step. There is other work that needs to go on, right? You need to elevate how you see yourself. You need to think of the best version of you. And so we're going to take a moment and I'm going to ask you some questions. Hopefully you brought a piece of paper with you that you can answer some of these questions as we go along in this workshop. Who is the woman that is the best version of who you already are right now? In a couple years, it may be somebody else. If you work on this and you become her, right? that has the goals and dreams, our bodies just naturally want progression. It's not that we're not grateful for where we're at. We are just ready for the next level, the next progress. Like we just desire growth, just like a plant, right? They just naturally grow, and we are the same way. That's the way that our spirit has been made. It's the way our bodies have been made. And there's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes we look around and we don't see the growth that we've had and where we're at. But we always want the next level. Okay, my Wi-Fi's a little slow. Okay, I'm gonna grab some music here, and I'm gonna be asking you some questions. So go ahead. Hopefully, if you're not driving, you're somewhere safe. And if you can close your eyes, find my music I had earlier. Okay. We'll just go with, maybe we won't play any music. We'll just go ahead and close your eyes. Oh, actually, I can go here. Start playing. Okay, we'll turn it down pretty low. Okay, and I want you to imagine yourself and your dreams that you desire have actually happened. Whether it is to find a new spouse, start a business, reach it, not a new spouse, find one, or a relationship. You have a goal. I want you to put your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. Relax. Take another deep breath. I want you just to open your heart and think of all the possibilities that are possible for you. It's time to step in the greatness that God has planned for your life. We want to ask for the courage to step out. And even if you don't see how it's possible right now, but just the willingness to step into what you really desire for your life, and trusting that you can accomplish it. I want you to look in the mirror. What are you wearing? You've accomplished your dreams. You achieved your highest goal. What are you wearing? How are you standing? How are you presenting yourself? Lift yourself up from head to toe. What is different about you now than before? What actions are you taking differently? What are you thinking about yourself? What do you believe about yourself? Look at yourself in the mirror, and then just tell yourself thank you for believing in yourself. How do you feel? Go ahead and open your eyes and write down on your piece of paper some of the answers to that question. Who do you need to be? What are you doing differently? I'm just going to give you a minute to do that. What are some things that you had to let go that are no longer going to serve you going forward? It had its season, but it's time to step in the new you. How is that going to look for you? Just give you one more minute to do that, or a few more moments here. Okay. Get to turn off the music. Okay, so whenever we want to make changes in our life, our brain is going to want to tell us, I'm not worthy of that. Can't do it. Seems impossible. All these thoughts are going to come to your head. And the reason is for that is because our bodies want to conserve energy, wants to keep us safe. It feels like we could die trying, right? Like, what if I fail? What if I humiliate myself? What if all these things come to our heads? And this is in the hero's journey, the point of where we refuse the call. We know that there's changes that we want to make. We know there's things that we want to do. We know there's impact that we want to create. We know that we have to make changes to get what we want for the next reinvention, right? But we refuse the call. And so maybe that's you. Maybe you're just kind of like kicking yourself, right? And try to preventing yourself from doing it. Guess what? That is not a fun place to be either. You could be in what we call the miserable middle, where you're in this area where you're not where you want to be, but you're not yet ready to take action to start doing it. It's the miserable middle, and it's miserable there. It's no fun to be there. So if you're going to be miserable, I suggest to you that you do it in a way that's going to cause growth in your life. It's going to help you achieve the goals that you want in your life, and so that you can create the impact that you know that you have. So, yes. So you'll want to start taking action. I just want to encourage you that you can do this. You can get what you desire. If God's put a desire in your heart, it's meant for you. But we have to take the action to achieve that. And the only way that we could take the action in the right way is to be the woman who has achieved the goal that you want. And that's why it's so important that we do those visualizations, that you can visualize yourself actually having the goals that you have, being the woman that you want. Because once you're her, the action, the way that you take the action is so much different than from the other position, right? You can't fake it. So many, a lot of times I've coached women where they desire something, but they don't believe that it's for them. So what we need to do, so you're here, this is where you're at, and you have this desire, right? You have these goals of who you want to be over here. That's a really big leap to get to from here to here. You're not going to all of a sudden believe that you can get this, right? Maybe you want to feel confident in the skin that you're in. You want to feel stylish and feel beautiful. But right now, you're over here where you feel frumpy, or you feel you don't love your body, you don't love your style. You're over here, right? Well, to get to confident, we're going to have to come up with some bridge thoughts. We're going to walk you along your bridge to over here. Often what happens is you're going to be going on a hero's journey. So if you're not familiar with the hero's journey, it happens in every grand story where there's going to be a transformation, a reinvention. You are going to be able to become your best version of you. Remember, she's already there. We're just going to have to fight to bring her out, though. There's going to be a struggle. The reason why I know there's going to be a struggle is because she would already be out. You would already be walking in your best version of you if you already were there. So there's things, either life experiences that are holding you back. There's thoughts that you've had about yourself, about how you feel about yourself. You may have been teased. You may have been abused. You've had these experiences that have caused you to believe things about yourself. And you're going to have to overcome those. So the number one is just being aware of where you're at, which is what you kind of established already. Where are you? And having that call to it, your adventure, seeing where you want to go, what is possible for you is your call to your adventure. And then the refusal, number three, you're kind of like fighting it, you're refusing it. And you're going to maybe do that at first. And then number four is meeting the mentor, meeting the person that's going to help you go from here to there. And that's what I can do for you, is help you get from here to there, walk you through what's causing you to stay here and helping you through what's going to come. I can see what is going to happen to get you from here to there. And it's going to cause you're going to have to start taking steps to get there. And there's going to be tests, and you're going to meet some friends. You're also going to meet some enemies. Maybe there are going to be some people that maybe not necessarily an enemy, but they're going to try to hold you back. Sometimes when people try to lose weight, there's some friends, right? But they'll kind of pull you, to go back to your old habits, or, if you're wanting to drink less or stop smoking or whatever, they'll kind of encourage you, hey, come join us, kind of a thing. That's going to cause some inner struggles. And it could, sometimes it's ourselves, right? You look in the mirror and you look at your body And you might have a very supporting friends and spouses that like to remind you about how beautiful you are. But when you look in the mirror, you don't see it. And you're having to rewire some of those thoughts and what you see and how you're noticing. And you're going to have to go in to those situations and be willing to walk through it, to change how you see yourself. And there's going to be battles, and there's going to be roadblocks, and there's going to be all kinds of things that are going to come up while you're trying to make this reinvention. You can do it alone. It's going to be harder. It's going to take longer. And you can. But I would love to be your mentor to help you bridge from where you're at to where you want to go, till you evolve into the woman that you want to become. I wish I had one. I did not know about coaching when I first started on my reinvention. I would have loved to have a coach. Since then, I have invested in several coaches, but I didn't know about that. And so I had to do it by myself. And it was the hardest year, at least, of my life, from when I was having to re-decide how I wanted to, what I believed, how I wanted to live my life. What did I want to wear? What did I want to believe? And then I had to evaluate, where am I in all of that? And what's next? What's next? So I'm going to walk you through, though, how we get from where you are to where you want to go on your reinvention. If you try to just start putting in, I am, let's see, what maybe might be a goal of yours. I could think of some of my, let me look at, I'll just make one up. Like you want to, maybe you made $1 million in your business this year, and you want to take it to the, maybe you have it, or you're stuck at 500K and you want to make $1 million. And you don't see yourself as that woman, right? So you are saying, I'm a millionaire. Like, how many people have you said, oh, just tell yourself I'm a millionaire, but you don't believe it, right? You're someone who makes 500K and wants to be a millionaire, and you take decisions and actions off that. Let me use something a little bit more personal. Well, let me continue with that thought. You want to be a millionaire, and you keep telling yourself that you are, but you don't believe it. And so you don't take the actions towards that. And it just feels like you're lying to yourself. In addition to, if you look in the mirror and you want to believe that you're beautiful and that you love your body, but you feel like you're lying to yourself, that is not going to help you get to where you want to go. It's not going to help you love yourself by lying to yourself. If you don't believe it, it doesn't do any good to sit there and tell yourself over and over and over again. What I would encourage you to do is find a bridge thought. What is a thought that you have today that you do believe that will get you closer to believing in that you love your body? And every time you tell yourself, I'm ugly, you can replace with something that you believe. So it could be, my body has taken me through a lot. My body has supported me. My body has birthed my children. My body is healthy. I can get up and go to work. I can get up and walk, or, whatever it is. You find a bridge thought that you believe about yourself and use that. You lead with that thought. And when that thought gets you, feels really comfortable and you're thinking that majority of the time, yes, it's totally normal for us to think negative thoughts every once in a while. And it's totally normal for us to think more positive thoughts about ourselves than normal. But what is the thought that you're thinking all the time? What is the thought that's running in your mind about yourself or whatever it is for your reinvention that you're wanting to achieve? What's the overarching thought? That's the one that is creating the experience, right? That's the one that's driving your actions that you're taking. So finding a bridge thought that's going to help you get closer might not get you all the way across the bridge. Because so many times we believe that we are just observing life. Oh, I'm just overweight. We just think we're observing life. Oh, I just got a big butt. Or I just have no style. We just think we're observing life. This is a fact. But fortunately, it's not. Those are just opinions that we have about ourselves. Change our opinions. You're going to change your life. I promise you. And the way that you do that is through a bridge thought that's going to help you get closer to what you want. First of all, you have to know what you want. You're going to have to discover and play around with what do you want? What are your goals? Number two, how are you going to get there? Who do you need to be to achieve those goals? Because once you're her, once you behave like her long enough, you'll get the goals. You'll land the job. You'll get the business. You'll have the relationship. Not because it's woo-woo, but because you're going to be behaving in a certain way that's going to help you achieve what you're looking for. Does anybody have any questions about that? You can put it in the Q&A below. It says Q&A, and there's a place that you can ask a question. But when you know where you're going, you can visualize her every single day, dress in a way that's going to align with who you want to be. It's going to help ignite your brain. It's going to help you show up effortlessly. You're not going to have to think about it. When you're wearing the colors that you love, when you're wearing clothes that fit you fabulous, when you are confident in how you look and who you are, you're going to show up confident. There's no magic wand, right? There's not a trick to it. We're not going to fake it till we make it. We don't do that here at Style Guide Society. We're not faking anything. I'm just going to allow you to show up as you. You are worthy of all your hopes and dreams already. Just like a flower, whether it's in a wild field, is that what you call it? Wildflower in a field out in the middle of nowhere. Or if it's a vase. My daughter went on a date and her date brought me flowers. or whether it's in a vase and arranged in a beautiful way, there's already value to you. So there's no faking it. You're valuable and you're beautiful the way that you are. So what I do is I just help you see it. And you don't have to lose weight. You don't have to change who you are. You just want to, as you see it, live it. Step out in your own power that's already within you. Wearing the clothes that match her. You know, it was interesting. My husband was just telling me, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. He said that, I guess, what are the House of Representatives or the Senate changed their policy of what their uniform was. And it was not done by vote. It was done by a decision by someone. I don't even know who. I'm not political. But a bunch of people are mad about it. Like, no, it matters how we show up to work. It matters what we wear. And I love that people are still recognizing that, because we're in a kind of a time period where it's like, whatever goes. And the reason why so many women are confused about what to wear is because we grew up in a time when we were told, wear whatever you want, doesn't matter what you wear. So we never learned the style principles. And you may have learned how to style your body when you were younger, but as we get older, our bodies change. And then we just get frustrated because we're not, what used to work doesn't work anymore. And we don't know the principles, and then you got to go through that whole learning curve all over again. And so what I do is I work with you on learning what's going to work for you, helping you with your colors, helping you design your life and your personal style together. That is where my passion is, to help you do that, because that's how I can help you step in your power, just like it helped me step in my power. My life was totally changed, and I love helping my clients do the same thing. So I invite you to schedule a call with me. Bring what you worked on today, what you envisioned, and I would love to see where you would like to go and create a path where we work together and design your life and your style for your next season. What is that going to look like for you? And so I'll go ahead and send you a link, or you could reply to the email that with the link to this call to schedule that. But we'll go over that. We'll start your hero's journey to your next level, and I could be your mentor to help you with that. I'll just, I have the list here of things that I do. We would work together for 12 weeks. Now, style, I could do. I could go and take someone on a shopping trip and do a makeover in less than 2 hours, right? I could do all that. But that doesn't have a lasting change, right? Though I love watching those makeover shows where, you know, people go and they style them, they do their hair, they cut their hair, they do their makeup, they, you know, do all the things, and they look amazing. But that doesn't stay. The way that that can stay for the next 12 weeks or the rest of your life, right, is to really embody and learn and step into the next version of you. It's not going to be an overnight thing. I mean, I could make it that way. I mean, we could do that. You could fly here and I could go and do all that, or I can fly to you. but it's not lasting change, right? You want to really learn and embody and step into your next version, right? The best version of yourself. So I help you know what you want. I help you know who you need to become. Now, I guide you, I coach you. I don't tell you. I will tell you there's two different things I do. I coach and I consult. In the coaching aspect, I guide you and help you see the results that you're creating and how you can create what's possible for you. Increase your capacity. See what your perspective is. I coach you on that. I consult you on the best colors for you, the styles that work best on you, and explain to you why. I show you why those specific cuts and colors and styles are best for you. And that actually happens quite quickly. That is kind of quick once you learn, and I give you all the tools for that. Within 30 days, you're like, some of you guys, it's faster than that. It just depends on how many sessions we get into the 30 days, right? Color analysis, makeup, hair. We talk about those things if you need help in that area. I teach you a little bit of color theory because using the colors that you have on you to create that style, something that kind of tips you over the edge as style wise, like if you're wanting to show up differently in your personal brand or in your business or in your job, in your career, kind of just like using style and color to just kind of tip you over the ordinary is huge. People don't normally do that. And so you stand out in a good way, not like crazy or obnoxious, like in a good way. And that is a big thing to elevate your style. We talk about your style personality. We really define what it is, your style personality, and how you want to show up. Your brand image. If you have a business, we cover that. We cover, and the brand image is a personal brand. How you are showing up. How's your image being perceived, and how do you want to be perceived by others? And in a confident way. How are you going to show up? Who are you going to be to show up that way? Another thing that we cover is self-sabotage. So many little ways we are self-sabotaging our own success and our own life. And so we cover that. We design your midlife. How do you want that to look? We take a control of our schedule. We stop putting out fires so that we can have the time to do what really matters. We put what is your priority first. Is it your family? Is it your faith? Is it your friends? Is it your job? Whatever it is that you put first, and then making time and space and breathing room for that and for your creativity. You can't be creative when things are crazy, a mess. No, you can be creative even if you have a lot going on, because you're going to create space for that in your schedule and for you. But if you are putting out fires and just working minute by minute, oh, I got to get dinner. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, it's really hard to design a life that you really love without really understanding your schedule and prioritizing what matters to you most. Stop procrastinating. Talk about that. Taking the steps that are necessary for your reinvention. It also, if you need photo shoots, if you need to have pictures done for a website, cards, speaking engagements, whatever, we could work on that too. Like to get the right vibe for your personal brand. Where do you want to have it? What do you want to wear? What do you want to have incorporated? What props? What do you want to that all to encompass for you and for your business? Okay, so that's what we do in the 12 sessions that we have with each other. It's the price, it's $1,400 for the 12 sessions, or if you need a payment plan, it's $500 for 3 months. And you get all of that. It's a one-on-one. This is not a group. I work one-on-one with you. This is customized. So I just kind of list all the things that we could work on, but maybe you're like, Afton, I just really need to work on my confidence. I've got my style. I just really want to work on this. Or Afton, I need to work on my schedule. I need to work on my confidence. I need to work on my style. We're going to sit down when you schedule that call with me, and we're going to map out your 12 sessions and how you want that to look. What's important to you? What do you need help in with your reinvention? Because when you're on your reinvention, you're on your hero's journey. And there's going to be times when you're not going to know what to do. And you feel like frustrated and you want to give up. That's what most people do. As soon as one thing comes that doubts that what they want is really for them, they give up. That's what we want to do. Or we go for something less than. I really wanted to make $1 million, but maybe that's not for me. I'll just shoot for this lower goal. Or I really want to feel beautiful. I want to be confident. I really want this promotion. It's not for me. I'm fill in the blank. And what you say, I am fill in the blank, that is forming your perceptions, your opinions, and the actions that you're taking. So you can do this. You can go for it. You can do it. All right. And if you want to continue on this journey with me, I would love for you to do that. And if you want to try it on your own, totally fine. Work on those bridge gaps or those bridge thoughts. I really hope that you will say yes. Then I was going to say something, but I'm going to hold off on that. All right. I love you. Good luck on your journey. Bye-bye.